There is a video that has really caught the internet on fire coming out of Ottawa, Canada, of little kids stomping on a pride flag. Let's take a look. Now, this is part of the education over indoctrination rally happening in Ottawa, and this actually happened in response to leaked audio from a teacher at one of the public schools there in Canada saying the following thing to Muslim students as a result of their refusal to participate in gay pride. The teacher said the following: "If you believe that kind of thing, that gay pride isn't good, you don't belong here. That is not what Canada believes. We believe in freedom. We believe people can marry whoever they want. That is in the law, and if you don't think that that should be in the law, you can't be Canadian. You don't belong here, and I mean it." Now, something is quite obvious here. Regardless of your personal political views on any of the contemporary issues in a given society, these contemporary issues have very little place in the classroom unless they are used in a scholastic context to instruct a person, instruct a student on how to consider a variety of different viewpoints. The moment the classroom becomes a pulpit for the ministering of a particular viewpoint is the moment you have traded education for indoctrination. This is true whether it's in the United States, whether it's in Canada, whether it's in Britain. This principle remains consistent throughout the world, because it is a moral principle. Now, in response to this, it's no question as to why Muslim parents who come from a religion where homosexuality is not allowed and not permitted don't like this. In fact, this parent here had some very pointed words for the teacher.
I came about kids. I came about our kids. I don't want the kids to learn this because they are kids, they're not adults. When they are adults, they can do whatever they want to do. But they are kids. They are sending kids to learn the language, to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, to be one of the government. They didn't go to the school to learn about this stuff. Marry boy, girl marry girl.
Now, I saw a tweet that essentially tried to characterize the situation with two separate conclusions. The tweet said you can either go along with what the teacher said and berate students for not participating in political and social agendas, or you can do what Muslim parents have done and have their kids stomp on those agendas by literally destroying private property, i.e. stomping on the pride flag. But what about the third way? This is the problem with the culture war. The culture war dichotomizes everything. It makes everything a false binary choice. You either go down this path or this path without actually giving you all of the solutions to the problem. Some people actually don't benefit from the problem being solved. Some people benefit from perpetual outrage. And that is what is stopping the West from having a revolution of the mind that will unlock our potential to deal with these issues in a manner that is rational, sane, and will also keep society together and united and not needlessly divided into different factions. Pluralism only works if you respect the proper domains of society, which goes into my point, the third way. What if, as opposed to agreeing with the teacher, or as opposed to weaponizing children against the pride flag, what if we kept all of these contemporary issues out of education, out of the public sphere, so to speak, and leave them in their proper place in the private family home for children to be instructed by their parents who are morally required and obligated to take care of them. And then if the kid grows up and has differing viewpoints, that's when the kid can go ahead and practice their version of expression. You don't have to have this society where you attack everything that goes against the predominant viewpoint, or the society where you try to instill a very particular political viewpoint into the minds of children under the guise of education, when in all reality, you're indoctrinating them. You can have a healthy society that encourages debate in the proper domains of the society. But when every single thing becomes political, you cannot understand the different domains and the different areas of society. The family life as the second wave feminists said is no longer just the family life, it's the political life. And the political life is not just the government passing laws and signing bills and making expenditures. No. It also is whether your kid is gay or straight, whether your kid goes to this school or that school, whether your kid has a boyfriend or a girlfriend, whether your kid is taught gender ideology or taught math. The political has consumed everything, and we are seeing the results of this. In Canada and America, across the West, it's coming to a head. And so many of us lack the tools that we need to defeat ideals that are endangering the children and also endangering to our sense of being able to understand things for what they are and not what we want them to be. Whether a child is being taught gender ideology, which is wrong, or whether a child is being taught to hate a symbol, the pride flag, that they don't understand, both of them are equally wrong. That may make some of you mad. I don't care. I take the issue of the innocence of the young seriously. That's why every day on this channel, I oppose indoctrination into gender ideology. I oppose the false category of transgender children that was concocted by the tyranny of consensus, birthed from the expert class, which are all captured by a particular ideology. I reject it. I reject it with all form of conviction. I reject it. But I also reject weaponizing the young with religious agendas or any political agenda, left or right, that serves the interests that they don't understand. If childhood innocence only matters when it comes to gender ideology, but not when it comes to making a child stomp on a symbol, then it's not consistent. The only morally consistent stance is to want children to be kept far away from these issues unless they are being taught to understand differing points of view, which is the cradle of pluralism, the idea that you can have a society that is organized upon one overarching principle, and beneath that, you have different variations. So you may have a society that says freedom is important, and then you have a society that practices freedom in one way or this way or that way. This is what we have when we have different ethnic groups. This is why you have Chinatown, you have Little Italy, because different people have different ways of expressing how they want to live in society. And this is healthy, this is good. But when it comes to the young, who are the precursor to the rest of society's existence, and who have a special category by virtue of them being young, we have to have morally consistent standards, or we have no standards at all. I don't take seriously anyone who says that gender ideology is bad in the classroom and it's bad being taught to children, but will support what we saw in the video I showed you. I can't take them seriously because they're not a morally consistent person. They're not intellectually consistent. They are a hired gun for their anointed side, their anointed tribe. They are an emissary of tribalism. And if you know anything about Christian Watson, he hates tribalism. He hates it with a fiery passion because it dulls the mind. It makes you not consider things that would go against your agenda. It leaves you to wallow in the dirt of your ignorance. And when tribalism impacts children, do we not remember what Mao did? Well, Christian, you're making a false equivalency. No, I'm not. Every regime that has risen on this earth for foul ends, the communists, the fascists, every single regime has sought to weaponize children because they understood that children were the future to preserving their foul political order. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? I'll break it down a little bit more. People who want to control you understand that if you're older, you are more resistant to their attempts to control you, but your children who aren't defended in the mind yet because they're still young aren't as defended. So they go for them so they can control you by proxy. Have I broken it down enough? People say, break it down, Christian. Have I broke it down enough? This is insanity. This is tribalism. This is everything that the postmodernists, the leftists, who want to destroy childhood innocence on the altar of benevolence, on the altar of transforming who you are editing who you are. They want to destroy that. This is everything they want. Everything. Because guess what? They can point to this in Ottawa and say, oh, look, the Muslim parents there, they're stomping on pride flags. They hate gay people. We have to be intolerant towards them. We have to make laws. California is now trying to pass a law that makes it illegal to disrespect someone's gender identity, which is a term not founded in reason, a term not founded in reality, but a term concocted in the halls of academia, given legitimacy through political force. And as we know, anything that has its sole legitimacy in political force is something that cannot stand on its own. There is great merit to endorsing what is called, and I'm going to give you guys a new term here. Listening ears on. Value neutrality. What does that mean? I'll break it down. Value neutrality is the idea that in an educational context, you do not tell someone what is right, what is wrong. You instruct them on just what is. Mathematics, reading, science, writing. Moral education, which is what is right and what is wrong, is left to the family, left to the parents. You see? And if the parent instructs their child wrongly, or instructs their child to behave in a dangerous way, that child, as they grow up, will learn that they've been instructed wrongly, because reality will hit them with all the force it has. Because you cannot exist in this world in a moral way, in a stable way, if your behavior runs athwart of basic moral principles. Unless you're some rich billionaire on some yacht who does it for a living, like Bill Gates or whatever. So I don't believe the government or the public school system should instruct kids in morals and manners. That's the job for the parents. But the moment the parents become ensnared by tribalism, the parents, the family, being the only defense mechanism against cultural indoctrination, against political indoctrination, against insanity, when they become compromised, the children are doomed. Don't take your child to a damn anti-pride or anti-gay or pro-gay or pro-pride parade and have them wave or stomp on a pride flag. Don't do that. Don't do that. Use your reason, use your common sense, use a proper sense of moral education, use logic, and have your child avoid these issues until they are old enough to comprehend. And when they are old enough to comprehend, give them a variety of resources from both the left and the right, from different perspectives, saying, this is what the 2 camps think, or the 3 camps, or the 4 camps. You figure out what you want to do on your own. Anything less is indoctrination. Anything less is an attempt to convince a child of something that may not be so. Anything less is compromising to a child's ability to be a morally integral person in the future. Anything less is not acceptable in a civilized society. Jefferson said, I'll close with this, he would rather have a society of newspapers without governments than governments without newspapers. And even though Jefferson hated the partisan press, as I do today, he understood that enlightenment is the prerequisite for civilization. Tribalism is anti-civilization because tribalism thrives on you not knowing crap. Tribalism thrives on your ignorance. Tribalism thrives on your epistemic indolence, look it up, towards different perspectives. Because when you are ignorant, you will not consider other viewpoints, and you can be more easily made to go into conflict, physical or otherwise, against those you hate. That's what those in the power structure, that's what those who stand to benefit want. Don't give it to them. If you do, you are a pawn in their foolish game. All right, I'm done. Like this video, comment on this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel. I love you guys so much. Please stay pensive. God bless.